almost 80. I'm at 4,000 RPMs. Don't redline till 65. And redline ends at 85. Check out the bike with an identity crisis. CTX 700 DCT with ABS. All right, 62-degree front-leaning parallel twin puts equal weight on the front and rear wheel, giving it extremely good stability in the corners. It is the same tire setup as the Ninja 650, 120 and a 160, both 17 inches. However, you do have 5 more inches on the wheelbase than a sport bike, but you're a few inches shy of a cruiser. It's sitting right around 60 inches on the wheelbase. Most sport bikes sit around 55, 57. Most cruisers are 62 plus. It's kind of right in between there. That giant headlight does work at night, super bright. I had a CTX 700, trust me, that is awesome. The DCT has 2 ride modes. There's sport and drive mode right there. Okay, so this is a fully automatic motorcycle. Got storage in there, and then there's your gas. You have a 3.17 gallon tank, but mine got about 65 miles per gallon. So it really does get you rock solid 170, 175 miles before you got to worry about filling up. I always like the look of the CTX 700. I know it's not a screaming machine. I understand you're not going to break any land speed records. I just always like the way the fairings looked blending into the bike. I like the way the mags look. I like the way this bike looks. And no, it's not super quick, but you know what? It's fast enough. And it gives you everything you need, nothing you kind of don't. No, there's no cruise control. There's no traction control. But there is ABS. And what you do get is a very sure-footed machine that is extremely easy to corner. Much easier to corner than your average cruiser. Matter of fact, the lean angle on this bike exceeds that of most cruisers. So cornering this bike is a lot of fun. It really, really is. At 500 pounds wet, real easy to deal with. 51 horsepower, 46 foot-pounds of torque. Let's take it on the highway and see what those 51 horses have to say. Let's go for a ride. No clutch pedal here. That's your plus. And that's your minus to downshift. If you want to leave it in manual mode, you will change that right here. Auto or manual. So Honda made a naked version, and they made the fairing version, and they made a manual, and they also made the DCT with ABS. What's really cool about the DCT is it really is easy, worry-free riding. If you're not used to a clutch, or you don't want to get used to a clutch and you want something simple, this is definitely the way to go. So on paper, Honda does call this bike a cruiser. With the foot forward riding position, the swept back handlebars, it's very comfortable to ride. But with the fairings on it, I don't think this bike seriously knows what it is. But it is cool. Alright, 0 to 60 is about 6 seconds. But there you go, I'm up and rolling. I had to throttle that pretty good there. That's about what you got going on 0 to 60 wise. I'm doing 76, tacking out at 5,000 RPMs. I don't redline till 65. Oh, now I just shut down to 4,000 RPMs in 6th gear, looks like. Doing almost 80, I'm at 4,000 RPMs. Don't redline till 65. And redline ends at 85, so there you go. It's a good bike all the way around, man. It's just a good bike. Cornering's a breeze. So Honda made the CTX 700 from 2014 to 2018, and it had great success, much better success than the CTX 1300, which they attempted as well. So I know, you're going to poo-poo the DCT. You don't want an automatic. I know, I've heard it, trust me. So here's what you're thinking, maybe. You might be thinking this. You might be thinking, hey man, I don't think I want a DCT. I don't need no automatic. It's not a man's bike to have an automatic. You know, I can see how you'd think that. I've had 18 bikes. One of them is an automatic. It's a VFR 1200X Cross Tourer, and it is a beast. It's 130 horses, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds beast. And I can take it anywhere. All right, let's hammer this sucker. What's great about this bike is the cornering is fun. You have Honda surety. All right, let's just hammer it and see what happens. Signals are not self-canceling, by the way. Anyway, plenty of road presence, you know. These fairings are really helping keep the wind off me a bit. This thing on the front could be doing a little bit better job if it was a little further forward or recurved a little. Right now we've got what's called a rolling roadblock. I mean, it's just two people that like to ride right next to each other just to mess with everybody else. So yeah, 3.17 gallons, but you know what? 65 miles per gallon-ish. You got plenty of fuel. Plenty of fuel. We're gonna take this thing in a parking lot up here. We'll do a little slow maneuvering. See how she goes. So ordinarily you can find these used for between $4,000 and $6,000 depending. This is a 2014 I'm riding now, and it's listing for $4,500, but that's because it's the DCT with ABS. The manual ones you're gonna find are just a little bit cheaper than that. So with the DCT you can hit the minus button and catch the torque of a lower gear and hammer it. Or if you want, you can hit the plus button, catch the lower RPMs on a higher gear, and when you do that you get a little bit better fuel efficiency. Now, you will not be able to pop a wheelie with this bike, not with that 62-degree forward parallel twin putting all that weight on the front tire. What is nice about that is that when they designed this bike, they designed even weight on the front and rear. So when you corner, even weight is on the front and rear. That's kind of nice. I put a short shot exhaust on mine, and it sounded like a racing beast when I did that. It really did. It sounded great. So that's something to consider if you buy one of these. I like my short shot. It made it sound monstrous. The engine is actually very, very quiet. But you know, it does have zippy torque. It's not terrible. The power to weight ratio is pretty good. The suspension's pretty nice. 4.3 inches of travel, I believe, in the rear, 4.2 in the front. So the rear suspension travel is soft and squishy, so is the front. So you end up with a very comfortable ride. You got a low seat height. This is an excellent beginner bike. The DCT with the ABS makes it a nice, safe bike to learn on even. Very gentle throttle, very good balance. You got Honda reliability. If you're a person that is older and you're just wanting to return to riding, this would also be a very good answer for you. Low center of gravity. I know it's 500 pounds, which is not very heavy to me. I've got a 900-pound Goldwing at home, but 500 pounds, if you're not used to it, can be heavy, but this carries the weight very low on the bike. You don't feel it. I mean, this thing is so, look how zippy it is. It just, so flickable. It's a very flickable bike. So those are some things to consider about it. It's got a lot going for it. I loved mine. The only reason I traded mine in after a few thousand miles was because I have to keep a lot of different bikes going through. I've got a YouTube channel. I can't settle on a bunch of bikes and just hold on to them. I always rotate them out and try different ones, and I get my education that way, doing the maintenance on them and all that. And let's get around now. Yeah, see, it's got enough torque. It's not the fastest thing you ever rode, but it's not the slowest either. It's right in between, but it looks amazing, actually. It really does. It looks absolutely amazing. All right, we're gonna do a little slow maneuvering. And let's just cut this all the way. Now look at this. Look at this. Look how easy this is. This is easy, it's balanced, it's so simple. It's so simple. Oh my gosh, this bike is beautifully balanced, typical Honda perfection. They tell you to use this as your emergency brake, but you gotta remember before you get going to disengage it. Don't forget that. And that's my review of the Honda CTX 700 DCT with ABS. Remember, put Jesus on the front, pray before you go. TG MotoRider, signing off.